My favorite team to talk about, not Texas at West Virginia. They're 6th. Count them. Can you count that high? 1, 2. 6 losses in a row.
Not good, man.
I was told, I need somebody to fact check this, that this is the first time Texas has lost 6 or more games since Earl Campbell was the age of 1. I know you can count that high. 1 year old. It has been a long.
It's 1 year old.
1 year old. Yeah, you're right. You're right. It has been a long time since the boys in Burnt Orange have been this bad. I mean, they've been bad. You know, they're back, all that fun stuff. No. 6 in a row, Bryce. They go to West Virginia, which is a tough place to play. But they're deflated. I mean, please wave the white towel. Send us home. Seniors, let's go out next week. Let's hand some flowers to our moms, and let's just go back in the locker room. We don't want to be here. Yeah. Get us out of this year. It's going to be a long offseason in Austin because they are not going to a bowl game. It's not happening.
And what's crazy, I think it's the best thing for them. I think a long offseason exactly what they need because Sark needs to figure out who is here to be a University of Texas football player. When you look at this team, and I don't know if I mentioned I've been talking about so Trainer is a massive UT fan. Sent me an article or a write-up rather of what they called the bus rate. Bus rate meaning like guys that came in and they're on the bus now out. It is a very interesting stat line when you start talking about 45% of the junior class gone, 52%.
That's crazy, man. And a lot of it's coaching turnover, right?
It is. I mean, how do you build depth? You can't build depth, right? And my whole thing on this Casey Thompson deal now is like, look, Sark, you are building for the future now. It is very evident that you are building for the future. Play Hudson Card, man. Let him get some snaps under his belt. You've already benched Casey Thompson like 7 times.
But he ruined Hudson Card because he made him the starter, and then he benched him. So now Hudson Card's like, oh, wow.
Right. And it's the same thing that we keep talking about.
I have been there. It messes with your head. You try and overcome it, but it is so much different when somebody just gives you the reins, and you'll take a few lumps, but you won't take as many lumps when you have the confidence of your coach behind you, and then your team, and then the fan base, and everything. Like, that makes a difference, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it really does, and I hate the fact that these guys are bouncing back and forth because it's like a lot of other situations that have happened in Austin before where you just can't pick a guy. It was like, who's the greatest quarterback ever to come out of Lake Travis? Why can't I think of his stinking name? He's still playing. Played for the Cowboys last year. Garrett Gilbert.
He's deemed as the greatest quarterback ever to come out of.
Dude, he was like
Lake Travis?
Oh, yeah. He was Gatorade National Player of the Year, like unreal. Like absolutely unreal.
I didn't know that. Great guy.
But anyways, probably not a great example, but I'm with you. Don't go bouncing back and forth. I'll tell you one thing that is positive in Austin right now. Their rushing attack. Bijan Robinson, he's out, but they have some depth there.
Yeah, they got dudes, man.
Kylan Robinson comes in, rushes for over 100 yards, rushes for a tutty, and then Xavier Worthy.
He's the guy you build around.
He has put up numbers.
He's Donovan Smith for Sark, which you gotta love. So if they come in and they have a little slot guy, they have Xavier Worthy that can bust the top off. Just allow Hudson to make mistakes. It's fine. And that's what if you said, hey, this guy played better than him in camp, then believe that.
Yep.
And let him go.
Yep.
Let him go. He's gonna make mistakes. The kid's 18 years old, 19 years old. Let him make the mistakes. It's
if you're gonna go on a 6-game losing streak anyways, just put him in there.
Yeah.
And start off season early.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think anybody kind of goes into a game knowing that we're gonna go six in a row here, but
they should have because they have a. I'm gonna hold my breath. Yeah. They have a horrible culture.
They just have guys that aren't bleeding for the colors, and they're not bleeding for the school. And I think that, again, part of this whole transfer portal deal that we've been talking about, this purple ribbon society that we're in, about it's your way, it's entitled, whatever, and you don't work for stuff, is creating this. It's hard, and it's the reason that it's hard is because it's so seldom that you actually have coaches, especially in this game in football, just because we cover it all the time, that are able to create culture.
Mm-hmm.
And when you do have it, you keep them there, right? And so I think that, like I said, it's the best thing that happened for UT. They're not playing well. This defense has completely given up. They do not care at this point anymore. Letty Brown is a really good running back, but, dude, letting him go for 150 on you is not UT football. Jared Dagies, again, decent quarterback. Letting him go for almost 300 and 3 touchdowns is not – and this was a West Virginia team that wanted to be beat. That's the whole thing. They wanted to be beat. They didn't care. But blood in the water is you know, when UT comes in, there's blood in the water, man. This is a chance for every team in the Big 12 to sit here and stomp while you're down.
Yep.
It's just not – it's not fun to watch. I hate it for them. I hate it for the guys that actually do bleed for that school, because there's so many guys. To your point, you've made that point several times over the course of our podcast here, that, man, you were hanging up burnt orange, posters, man. That's a thing. Like, when we were watching football growing up, there's so many guys that we used to watch that played for UT, and all you wanted to do as a Texas high school kid, Texas, whatever, junior high, doesn't matter, or middle school kid, you love to think about yourself playing in Austin for the Texas Longhorns, and they have lost what that means.
Yeah.
They've lost what that means.
I'll say one of my best friends from high school, his little brother is Derek Kerstetter, starts on the O-line at Texas. So I get to watch them quite a bit, and I do watch them quite a bit because of him. He's making his 49th start against Kansas next week.
Wow.
Not Kansas. Against I think
it's KSU, right? Kansas State?
Yes, Kansas State. Sorry. 49th start. And I'll say, because we bash their whole program, right? He is a guy that has given his blood, sweat, and tears to the university. He cares. He hates the fact that they're losing, right? So there are guys out there that care.
Yeah, no doubt.
He's going to graduate, not get a bowl game his senior year, which is tough. But hopefully there are a couple embers left that can be ignited in that locker room.
Sark will find it, man.
I think
Sark
he will.
find 'em.
I think he will. But it certainly isn't going to be this year.